So the 50%, are they taking home their work?
No.
So that means it is unfortunately your fault. Do you know why? Because you know the 50% only can do 50%, you don't give them enough work. Correct? The one who does work, you are giving them 150% work. That's why they have no choice but to take it back home to work. They are being overworked, whereas some of them are being underworked. Why they are overworked and underworked? Because both in your way, in your mind, this is what they can deliver. But it's an unfair balance. So even if you give 150% to the one who's productive, they will still deliver it on time. You love it. The one that you give work that they can deliver in time, you only give 50% because that's their capability. But they're both paid the same salary. It's an unfair balance. So what do? Ask the one that you're giving 150%, the one that's doing work for 50%, get them to report and do a team 150 plus 50 and ask them to do it together. Teach the 150% workers to delegate downwards. So they will get extra help and the 50% will learn how to do more work by their own peers. That's teamwork. Before you deal with anger, you have to find out what is your source of anger. Many people's anger is based only on one thing. It didn't deliver to their expectation. What is expectation? If somebody wants a sweet, that's the expectation. I want a sweet. So when they ask and you get a no, you get angry. So the expectation is not there. But we don't realize that the no is not to deprive, the no could be also to save. Too much of sweet could be bad for you. But we don't want to focus on why the no is better for us, but we will focus on, you don't understand me, you don't know me, you don't think about me, and we get angry because again, we think it's we have the right to want, and that right is being deprived from us, and we get angry. Then that anger compounds, that you don't respect me enough. You don't treat me as a peer or human being or a person. Then that anger compounds. Now, what happens with that? You create a belief system that this is how that person has defined and is thinking of you always. Now when that happens, you have a lifelong emotional trigger to get angry whenever they open mouth, even though they are not saying anything bad about you. You will just get angry because your mind is already said the person is always hating me. The minute they say a word, you will go back to a point where you got angry for the same word and you'll scold them. You'll get angry. Then they have to come back and say, that's not what I meant. Right? So that's because we have implanted in our mind that this person is no good. So write down all this person that you're angry with and go and give them a hug if you dare. This is changing for yourself. And say that, I don't know why I've got angry with you. I don't want to be angry with you. Let's make peace. That's it. So what happens is that implanting that this person is doing bad things for you is removed not by them, by you. When they try to remove, they are being defensive in your mind. They are trying to defend themselves as good people. You will never accept it. But when you remove it, you now have a better relationship. One lesser person in the world to get angry with. Because you can't get angry with a wall. You can't get angry with a TV. Right? Now, you watch a movie and there's one character. You get so angry with him. Once you're off the TV and go, are you angry with the person anymore? Because you don't implant it. You infer that person and that's it, you move away. You don't emotionalize it. You know how to switch off. So, when you switch off, you know the anger is gone, right? That's what the hug is going to do. You're switching off that anger with a person, they will never get angry. You will never get angry with them. And that empowers you. And actually that saves you a lot, because a lot of anger will give you sleepless night, will give you a lot of anxiety, you will lose focus in what you want to do. And sometimes you may be reading something, nothing is absorbing, and that creates more frustration. Make peace with every source of anger that you have. Right? The worst thing, when people don't make this peace, guess who's the next person they'll get angry with? Themselves. When you get angry with yourself, isn't it sad? And isn't it not right? And how are you going to make peace with yourself? Make peace with the rest, then there's no reason for you to be angry with yourself. Because why? The first person that you make peace with, you actually feel good. You feel good about yourself. You will get less angry with yourself. Right. So when you say big emotion, that means it has a deep-rooted trauma. Why it has a deep-rooted trauma? Do you know why traumas become deep-rooted? Because we empowered it. We empowered the trauma. How do we empower it? Because we keep thinking about the trauma every day. We are feeding it enough energy with our thoughts, so it grows so big that it becomes part of our life, and that's why we say, I don't know how to let it go. Because we grew it within ourselves every day. When we talk about anger, at a young age, your anger is because you don't have the right or the freedom. You're fighting for your freedom. So-called freedom, what you think is a freedom. But you don't realize that freedom comes with a price at a young age. So your parents could be protecting you from you getting hurt. So that's why they're trying to. But once you get hurt, it's your experience. Then you'll scold your parents again that, why did you let me fall? Right? There's never a right thing to do as a parent. And it's not an easy thing to manage as well. But children are also seeing things in the world. Right? Believe me, every other parent out there is a better parent than our parent. Everybody else's wife is a better wife than our wife. Everybody else's husband is a better husband than our own husbands. Right? Because why? We are not living with them. That's why we feel that they are better off. Because we don't know that they are good or bad. We assume nobody can be bad as our own. However, when you grow older or when you get more matured, you feel that you want to win in this world. First is you don't have freedom. The other one is you're suppressed of your right to be who you are. What I mean by suppress the right to be who you are, the people that you get angry with when you get older is people who don't allow you to grow. So why I say they don't allow you to grow is because you think that they are pressuring you down. They don't think you have the ability, you have the capability, and they will use you for what you can, and you think that you are deprived. You could do more, but they don't allow you. They are the ones who's blocking your life. So your anger is because you cannot defend yourself for it. You're angry with yourself because you can't go and defend. You can't go and step up in everything. You can't make that noise. Why? Because you have put them in a much more superior platform than you. You have put them in more superior. They attempted to put you more inferior, but you allowed them to be more superior. That's why you're angry. You're angry because they made you inferior. Do you understand? Actually, they didn't make you inferior. They attempted and you allowed it. If at that point, instead of angry, you clear and say, no, I believe this is what I believe is. I allow you to say whatever you want, but I'm not that, and I'm walking away from this. The trauma doesn't get deep-rooted. But you stood up for yourself. Whether right or wrong, you stood up for yourself. Right? But if you don't even stand up for yourself, you will never know whether it's right or wrong. But when you stand up for yourself, you are actually voicing out what you're thinking. When you voice out what you're thinking, you can go back home and ponder about it. When you didn't voice out what you're thinking, it is always right for you. Only when you voice out, you know whether it's right or wrong for you, because it has been put out there. You know how to evaluate. We don't do that, right? Standing up for your right doesn't mean you're being stubborn or adamant. It's you're voicing out your opinion publicly so that you can go back and also understand whether that's the right thing to do. You learn and you grow, right? So if your parents are strict with you, tell them, I feel that you're strict with you and I want more love from you. We don't do that with them. But who do we tell? Facebook friends, right? Social media friends. And they are not going to tell your parents. Your parents will never know that they are strict with you. Is your problem going to be solved? No. Because your problem is not solved, you get more angry with your parents. Then if your friends on Facebook come and say, my parents are worse, then now you forget that your parents are strict with you. Now you go into competition, comparative, whose parent is worse. Right? No, that's another overthinking to start. And it's never ending. Because why? You are always fighting for that right to be better than everybody else. Even it means saying that you have the worst parents, you have to have the worst parent because you want to win that fight of who has the better or worse parent.
I suppose I'm willing to fight with myself. But the fear of confronting other people, because I'm scared I'll hurt their feelings, or I'll hurt them and then they'll hurt me, or I'll hurt them and I'll get hurt from hurting them.
If they tell you as it is, are you hurt? You hurt yourself internally, right? What was their right to say to you? Are they right in telling you what they wanted to tell you? In your opinion? Yes, they were right, correct? Even though it hurt you, it doesn't matter, right? And then you manage it internally, right? Now, let me ask you the next question. Why do you think you don't have the same right to say? Who took it away from you? Who gave it to them in the first place? No one, right? So who's depriving you of the right to say? You, right? Who gave them the right to say? No one, right? Because they believe that they can say, you believe that you can't say. Hurt or no hurt has got nothing to do with it. But if you say, you know how to grow. If you don't say, you are destroying yourself internally.
It's so interesting because you say hurt isn't a part of it, but I feel like hurt is my biggest, like the fear of the consequence. Hurt is the scariest one.
Yeah, I mean, everybody will get hurt. But believe me, once you get hurt once, the second time you're going to get hurt, you won't feel it because you're already numb to hurt. So, but you just don't have to fear the hurt. Experience it, then there's no more fear. Because you see, there's only two choices. You already hurt once, right? You already been hurt once. The second time is either you'll be hurt or you won't be hurt. If you're not hurt, it's a win situation for you. If you're hurt, it's an experience that's repeating itself. It's not a failure. So it's a win-win situation.